So you need to excuse the messy garage. Just thought you guys might like to have a look at the VTEC mini moke, fully engineered in New South Wales. Got a 1.8 litre B series engine, 4-wheel disc brakes, Honda cluster, Honda steering column, custom bars, LED headlights to make room for the engine, a few other bits and bobs. As you can see, idle's about 700 or 800. Speedo's been calibrated, so she's spot on. Fuel gauge has got an aftermarket sender in the moke tank, and the Honda fuel pump has been installed into the moke tank. Temperature generally doesn't get over, it's never got over half. The switches, they're all Honda. They've been slightly modified to give them an upward swing. Steering column, collapsible, Honda. Been modified to fit the moke steering rack. Custom cowl. And the good bit, the engine. Look at that. So what have we done there? This is actually two manifolds grafted into one. Give it an upswing away from the firewall out of the B18, because it's a 1.8 litre Integra motor. The manifold actually rolled down and had no chance of fitting in, so we cut the bottom of the manifold off, fitted a Type R manifold, changed the angles a little bit and swung them upwards. The alternator, this is actually a Minitech alternator out of the States, alternator bracket, sorry, out of the States, and we've had to modify it a little bit to make it fit, but yeah, that does a good job. And as you can see, we've cut out the guard here to make room. We've got LED lights for obvious reasons. They're really thin. The mini headlight buckets came into about here, so there was no chance they were going to work, and even the headlights without the buckets were extremely close. The exhaust manifold. So what we've done with the exhaust manifold, it's still the cast manifold that came off the Integra, the 94 Integra the motor came out of, so the manifold didn't quite fit and it touched on the body. So we shaved the mating faces where it mounts to the head and swung it in a little bit. So just by changing a couple of degrees, we swung it away from the body and allowed to fit it into the standard moke, which is pretty cool. Chinese radiator, custom made, bought off eBay, sent the dimensions, fantastic, they sent it over. It almost fitted. Had to do a little modification here in Australia, and I cut the bottom of it out. You might be able to see it there, that weld there, so that used to come straight through, and that was just enough to clear the clutch slave cylinder. We've heat wrapped the exhaust just to give it a bit of extra clearance, or a bit of more to reduce the heat, but around the paintwork there. What else we got? Oh, here we go. The induction. So to get a bit of cool air in there, puzzled over this one for a while, how to get the nice cool air in there. Ended up moving the master cylinders. So there's all our remote reservoirs for the master cylinders, and we actually put them inside the car. Probably pretty hard to see, but this is a Willwood pedal box. All right, that's still a mini accelerator pedal, but the clutch and brake is a Willwood box. It's the smallest ratio I could find, and it's pretty hard to see up there, but there's two master cylinders just on the right hand side of the screen, and then if you go to the left, that's the clutch. That guy there, that's an AP racing master cylinder, and these two guys are Willwood. And I mucked around with those a fair bit. This is an adjustable balance box as well, so you can wind it in and out to compensate pressures to the front and rear brakes. Not 100% happy with how it is. The car stops on a dime, but yeah, the pedal feels not fantastic. I do have a booster. You can't see it. It's down inside that lid there. That's where the handbrake, the electric handbrake sits too. We'll talk about that in a minute. Yeah, so that's the pedal box. Yeah, pretty good setup. I've done about 2,000 Ks in the car so far, and pretty good. That's pretty much. I've just adjusted the thermostat fan, and that's the hottest it gets. What you see there on the gauge with that radiator, but it always smells a little hot. So I'm still mucking around with that. I'll get back to you on those ones. So as you can see, we've moved the gear shift back a fair bit from where it would be standard mode. It's still not 100% right. I'm not happy with it, so we're going to do some more adjustments there. I've got a reach for that. By all means, it does the job 100%. The reason I put it there was because I sort of had a concept about a manual handbrake. As you can see, there isn't one. So the handbrake is actually in the side box, which if you look through those two little square panels you can see in the picture there, it's on the other side of that, and it's an electric handbrake. It's an e-stop. Very, very efficient. It's fantastic. However, if you're in hilly traffic, you've always got the concern in the back of your mind that you're going to roll back into someone if you stuff it up. So you're heel towing all the time. Just brought you back here so you can see the exhaust. Probably get a bit of a sound there. She runs up, fits really nicely through the tunnel. We've got plenty of room, no dramas scrubbing on anything. It's quite good. It's got the catalytic converter right up as part of the engineering. We had to put that in, so right up near the gear shifter. Shorten linkages on the standard Honda shifter. Yeah, all seems to work all right. Not sure what you can see in there, but they're the big Honda rotors. Fantastic on a moke, I can tell you. Bit of a glitch there, sorry if we double up. They're the big Honda rotors. Fantastic on a moke. Had some machining done, special bracket made, and yeah, they stop really, really well. Pedal feels not fantastic. We've got a booster in the side box, but yeah, she's pretty good. And again, pretty hard to see, but I pulled the rear brakes off the Honda as well. So machined the stub axle to fit inside the moke trailing arm, and put the whole Honda disc brake assembly, rear disc brake assembly onto this moke. So we've got Honda bearings, the whole lot. Well, we had to maintain the swivel arm out of the old disc brake setup at the front, so we've still got 50-year-old technology bearings on the front. We've got modern 1994 rear setup 100%, and really good. It's got a cable option for the handbrake, which is hooked up to my e-stop electronic actuated handbrake, and yeah, unless you pick the back end up, you can't move it. It's fantastic. As part of putting all the Honda bits and the wheel accessories, I suppose, the brakes and stud pattern on, I needed to organise a system to hold my spare. So I've got, I now run 15-inch wheels, 195 50 15 tyres, which is not much different rolling diameter to the 13-inch that came out with them, but really close gearbox ratios to what Honda intended. So I've got nice cruising ability. I can use all 5 gears. First gear is usable. It's really fantastic. When I had the speedo calibrated, we were out by 6 kilometres. So really good result there. As I said, fitting the spare up. So how do you unbolt a spare where the bolts come off there and you've got a bumper bar right here? So you make it a drawer. So all this stays bolted up when you remove the spare. It's pretty hard to see, but I'll do my best to explain it. Those 2 bolts, 1, 2, unbolt those. This draws up. Sorry, can't really show that well enough. Undo those 2 bolts. This draws up. This all pulls out. As I said, pretty hard to see. No, it's sort of useless. Anyway, the whole thing pulls off, and yeah, she tucks in there quite nicely. And once you get it out, you undo those 4 wheel nuts. So a bit of extra security, quite good. Now for a few non-conversion related items. Front bumper bar, sort of conceptualised around a bit around the Jeep Renegade. Anyway, I bent these up, welded them together. Pretty happy with it. Sorry about the light, but the back bar a little bit the same. Yeah, it just doesn't have the nudge on it.